Greetings, friends.
Hello.
So I'm going to admit something here. I have numerous memories from the past of wishing ill upon other people. There have been times in my life when I saw people that had something that instilled jealousy in me at some level. And when that happened, I would often kind of wish, sometimes very directly, sometimes more in the back of my mind, that something bad would happen to them. Like, if they had a lot of people that really just adored them, that something would tarnish their image. If they had a lot of money, that they'd lose that money. If they...
Well, I'm thinking of somebody that's very confident, and I struggled with being confident through my life, and somebody who's confident and they come in and, they're the sweetest, nicest person. So first of all, you like them, but secondly, they're like, oh, I'm so excited because guess what? I just won this trip to, Mexico or something, and you start to think, why do they get everything? And you have this like, well, I hope you kind of get sick when you go to Mexico, and how about this, and this? Like, and yet you love the person and you're friends with them. So it's this juxtaposed weird place of wishing something not nice on other people. And of course, it's easy to wish something not nice on the people we quote don't like. Someone who's doing something that in our minds is wrong. Never mind the fact that how they got there and the fact that they probably need our compassion is a whole nother story. But it's really strange when you feel it in yourself towards someone that you care about, or someone that you usually do want good things to happen to, and suddenly here you are having this little cloud of negative thoughts, right?
Yeah, that's
right.
right.
It's like the little devil on your shoulder, kind of like, you gonna stand for that?
Yeah, it's happened to me with political figures who I just completely disagreed with what they were doing, and why can't something happen to them so that they're no longer, in their position of power? But that's when it really shocked me, when I saw it happening with people that I, outwardly apparently cared about. But here I am at some level wishing something negative about them. And so it was shocking when I first saw this operating inside of myself. I didn't really know it was there or want to admit it was there, but there it was. So along with that came this realization of what you were saying, that this was a cloud over my head. That when I was thinking negative things about people or wishing negative things upon them, that was eating into me. That was essentially creating negativity in my life. The only place that negative stuff was happening to people was here in my head, right? Not out in the world. So what I had going on is just kind of junky, icky scenarios going on in my head. Was that useful to anybody? No, not at all.
Because presumably, we would wish for ourselves to have a positive experience of life. And having a cloud of negativity up there all the time is not having a positive experience of life. And it takes up our energy. We could use that energy for so many other things, just to enjoy the day, to notice the things that are wonderful in our own life, and potentially to transform that and begin to wish well for other people. There is a cool thing that happens. I experienced it earlier this winter when our trees were going to be cut down on our road. I think that I spoke to that in a different video. I decided I was struggling with a person who was making decisions I didn't agree with or couldn't understand, and it kept eating away at me. I kept having negative thoughts, And I thought, this is not what I want to spend my mental energy or my emotional energy doing. And so I decided I'm going to send that person love, even though I don't know how. I'm going to suspend all of this negative thought projection and internal turmoil, and I'm simply going to wish them the best. I am going to envision them having everything happen to them that they want, of them loving themselves, of them getting to be with their families, do the things they love, and I'm simply going to send love and warmth. It's a strange thing to do, but the practice was so amazing because suddenly I was using the energy that I had for the negativity, and it was this warmness flooding out for me, and I thought, I'm just going to try it. In this situation, it worked out great. This person magically ended up changing their mind about what they thought. The trees were not cut down, primarily because of their decision and a number of other people who rallied together. I was blown away. I didn't spend that negative energy on that person. I spent positive energy, and in the end, everyone was rewarded. Whether or not the situation would have ended up differently, I think I still would have felt good knowing that I was using my energy for something that could give back, right? Spending my time cultivating positive.
Back. So that makes me think of service. You know, I think a big changer in this for me was Mother Teresa's prayer of humility, which if you haven't read, you should check that out. And in it, she basically says, may everybody else get credit for what I do. May everybody else be better off than me. May everybody else get all the kudos and the accolades. And when I first read that, I could feel the resistance and the repulsion to it. But it's so liberating to start thinking of that. You look at your neighbor and you think, boy, I just wish that the best that possibly can happen will happen for them. If you can do this with your rival, you know, with your coworkers, just hoping for the very best for everybody around you, then it puts you into this attitude of service. And whether it's magical or not, I think what happens there is you come into an attitude of service, good things start happening to you. And part of that might just be that when you're in that service-oriented spot, people recognize that, they love that, they're grateful for it, and they give back to you. Because they recognize that you care about them, that you're giving to them, and that naturally makes us want to give to others. It also creates this feeling of abundance.
Oh, abundance is so amazing, because when you feel abundant and you practice abundance, you start to realize how it is everywhere. You think about somebody showing up, a friend, a neighbor, whoever, at your door, and they're like, hey, here's a dozen eggs, I have extra eggs today, right? And then you think about the same thing, hey, I've got some eggs, but I just only want you to take like one or two, maybe not that one. It's like it sets up a different feeling of giving with constraint and like, oh, I'm gonna give this, versus just giving, right? And realizing I don't know what may come of this, right? I don't know what's good or bad. Do I need this? Because when we have in our heads this idea that there is not enough, we will certainly create not enough.
I feel like there's been many instances in our life when we've had, you know, there's that urge to, here's something that we can give, like you say, just to give a little portion of it or something like that. But when we've given the whole thing, we've never been in lack after that.
Right.
And in fact, we tend to be in lack when we just parcel out little bits of generosity. And it feels so good. I mean, there's studies that show we gain more happiness from giving something than from having it.
Oh, right, like
ourselves.
the classic study that's like, here you have $20 and you can spend it on yourself, and then they have another group, it's $20 you have to spend it on someone else, and then afterwards, you know, before and after, they rate happinesses, and the group who had to spend it on somebody else, this is like rates their happiness so much higher.
Yeah.
We love to give, and you know, we're part of a species that is tribal, is connected. We're meant to give to each other. We're meant to care for each other. And when you can do that wholeheartedly without the little bits of scaredness of like, oh, there's not gonna be enough for me, there's not gonna be enough for me. It is in a way like jumping off a cliff, right? But there's so much around you that the more that you do it, the easier it is to do. You start to have it be a habit, right? And don't give if you can't do it. But if you can challenge yourself, right? That's a little challenge. Sometime in the next 3 days, next week, give something away. And it's even better if it's something that you're not quite sure, and you can just go, okay, I'm going to do it. And you do it with your hands open. See what happens. Just experiment. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not promising you that anything's going to happen. I'm just saying I'm curious.
So, yeah, share with us your experiences with this. Have you ever wished ill on others? Have you felt the emancipation that happens when you switch that around from wishing ill upon them to wishing goodness upon them? And how do you do that when it's really challenging? Again, you go back to a political figure, for instance, that you really stand against. It's very tempting to just wish that they would get sick, or they would be, impeached or overthrown, or whatever it would be. How do you wish goodness upon someone like that? Share with us.
And I just wanted to say, a meet suit, I think it is.
Oh, yes.
So he has something where when he meets someone for the first time, he spends, instead of judgment, he tries to spend the first 2 seconds in that person's presence wishing them well. Before he even judges who they are, what he thinks about them, he just says, here you are, fellow person on this planet, I wish you well.
Oh, that's so huge.
So yeah, let us know how it works for you, what you do in your own life, and what the difference feels like.
Love to you all. Can't wait to see what you have to say in the comments.